Hello to everyone out there. Good morning, good afternoon, wherever it is you are. My name is Keith, and this, of course, is the Startup Sales Mastery video podcast where we, sales professionals, share everything we know with you, our co-founder club community, tech entrepreneurs, everything we know about sales. And hopefully you guys can make some more sales or get in touch with us and we'll help you make some more sales. That is the idea. That's what we all do. And of course, if it wasn't clear, I help startups scale. That's basically what I do. I've got my pitching t-shirt on this week because I've been pitching like crazy on the phones. As always, I've got my lucky headset. I'm blasting it. Let's get on with it. If you read today's title, this is, what week is it? KPIs, that's the one. Metrics, measuring metrics all this week. And yesterday I went through a quick overview of what measuring metrics is all about, what KPIs, key performance indicators. So I'm not going through it again. Watch yesterday's. But today is inbound, and as you can see behind me, I actually did a little bit of work to prepare for this. I don't care that the lighting is, but I'll make sure the camera is good to go when I show it to you, that you can see everything. Come on in, it's all good. It's a busy day here at the office. I have my coffee. Good afternoon. And yeah, startups, we're all one big flow. So, okay, measuring metrics, KPIs, inbound marketing, really simple. When you're doing marketing, inbound, that is anything that's coming into us, leads coming in, which is basically marketing, we need to track how effective it is at each stage. And the obvious reason for that is to know, is it working or is it not? You can't just say, "Ooh, I did a campaign and I got a deal. It's working." Well, hang on. Where did that lead come from? At what stage? Is it working? Is it not working? I'm going to go through what's on the board first, and then I'm going to go through examples so it's kind of clear. We're going to be working our way from the bottom up just because that's the way I wrote it down. And let's have a brief little look here. Hopefully the lighting is good to go. So basically when you're doing marketing, we're talking about links, okay? Anytime we're talking about links, we want to track those links. I'm not going to go into a full thing about link tracking and all of that, but I'm going to give a quick explanation. So you've probably put down www.mycompany.com and you're going to put that link and you really want someone to click it and you're getting really excited, and maybe you've connected your Google tracking or your Facebook pixel and somebody clicks it and you get really excited and you just assume, okay, my link campaigns are working, my posts are working. Well, which posts? This is the whole thing. You need to know which posts are working, where it's working, why it's working, how it's working. And we do that through UTMs, Unique Tracking Module is what it stands for. And basically you're going to take your link and you're going to add some stuff to the end of it. Again, I don't have time to go through all of this in a little tiny podcast. But the four main things that you're actually going to add to it, unless it's affiliate, and then you'll be adding affiliate IDs, is the medium, the source, the campaign, and the content. This is not something I learned all by myself. I've done a course in this, so I got to find out what the pros do. Again, I'm giving you guys the quick answers. So as an example, let's say, you know, it's a social media post. That medium could be a video or it could be a blog, whatever it is. Just account for what that is, where it is, Facebook, Google, LinkedIn, the type of campaign. Our example is going to be a summer campaign, and then the content. So maybe we have 4 different texts that we want to play with. So we add all of that to our UTM, and then we get a unique signature, a unique link, and then that link will go with this post. And then when we post somewhere else for another reason, it'll get a different one. Now you build all of this using some sort of a UTM creator. There's many of them. I'm not going into it. And then Google Analytics can do the job, but Google Analytics plus Google Tag Manager, you really want to combine them. Again, I am Startup Sales Mastery, not Startup Marketing Mastery. We scale startups like crazy, but I don't do this part. I have a huge team of marketers, and if you want to work with them, by all means, get in touch with me. I'll hook you up with the best team you've ever worked with, but it's not something I do. What I do is when the leads come in, I say hello to them. These guys do the professional stuff, but that's basically the stuff that you want to track. Now, this does need to be done so that all of this makes sense. So moving up the board, what's the difference between prospects and leads? A lot of people don't seem to get this, so I'm just going to say it. A prospect is someone that we see that we may want to sell to. A lead is someone the same as that, but who's also shown interest in what we've got. Okay? So that's where the term prospecting comes into play for like cold calling. You have a list of prospects. They're not leads, they're prospects. They only become leads when they've done something to indicate that they may be interested. Now, you can purchase leads if those leads have clicked on an advertisement somewhere stating that they're interested in a service that you may provide, and then you can buy those leads. They are now leads. They're not prospects anymore. So that's the difference. In those two. So if it's inbound, it's going to be leads in. Okay, definitely, because why would there be prospects coming into your pipeline? They've clicked on some sort of a link. They're leads. MQL, SQL, market qualified leads, sales qualified leads. This is where sales and marketing work together as a team. So your marketing team, or you, I suppose, in the early stage setup, you're going to go out and you're going to run your campaigns and you're going to get leads. Leads come in. Now, those leads, we need to verify against certain parameters. Maybe it's just some moron who's clicking on the link that has nothing to do with what you've got. So typically something like MQL, and you'll set parameters to assess, could be, are they in the industry that you work within, for example? Are they between this age group? Are they earning more than 20,000 a month? Do they have their own company? Very often in B2B, if they don't have their own company, you can't sell to them. So you're going to have one or two things, but basic things. This is not hardcore. You just want to assess, is your marketing reaching the marketing audience that you're going after? And that's where you do this here. Now, your inbound person, when you speak to these guys, you can confirm an MQL. You can also do this by sending out an email and doing survey stuff, but that's what MQL is. They're qualified as marketing leads. SQL is something different. They may be, in the right niche, the right product, the right age, have their own business. They may have all the right stuff to be market qualified, but if they don't have a budget, or they don't have an upcoming project, or their software is incompatible with your solution, something of that nature, they're not sales qualified. Sales qualified means there's the potential to make a sale. Okay, it doesn't mean you're going to sell to them. It just means they're sales qualified. I gave an example before about the inbound marketing machine that most high-tech companies work with. And obviously, SDR, sales development representatives, or biz dev, whatever they're calling, inbound reps, whatever you want to call them, they will receive MQL leads, and they have to check if they're SQL, sales qualified. And they do that by asking questions. And if they determine that they're SQL, they will find all the decision makers, make the list, and then they'll make an appointment for a big demo call with the AE, the main sales guy, and they'll mark it as SQL. And when that account executive gets on that demo call, he wants to move them to the next phase. But if he feels you made a mistake, he will actually put a little X beside the SQL and say, whoa, they weren't sales qualified. So that's sort of how it works. And the biz dev person will then need to say, well, hang on a second, they had the budget, they had this, they had that, they had the 6-7 criteria that they're trained to go looking for. So these aren't things that we just get out of thin air. Each of these, you're going to have bullet points, and they're the questions you're going to ask on the phone, or you're going to ask in your marketing campaigns. You need to verify this information. This is how that machine works. I'll quickly go through this before we get to this, just so that it all makes sense. Again, this is KPIs, measuring metrics. You need to kind of know this terminology before it makes sense. So obviously, the biggest metric we want to find out is, the leads. How many leads are coming in that are market qualified? Okay, so if we have 1,000 leads that come in and 20% are MQL, that's actually pretty shitty, to be honest with you. 40, 50%, you want a high number. Now, you're not the professionals. I'm assuming I'm speaking to early stage startups, so your MQL may only be 5-10%. I'm sorry, but that's kind of the way it's going to work at the beginning. When I do with new campaigns, it's been as low as 2-3% until we sort of get the hang of it. So I'm not going to say that's good or acceptable, but it's just the way it is while you're getting the hang of it. This is where the message and things come into play. Now, if you've been doing all of this correctly, you can actually assess where that MQL is coming in from. So if you have one UTM that is giving you, 40% and another one giving you 2%, what the hell do you think you're going to do? You're going to drop the 2% and you're going to double your ad spend on the 40%. I assume that makes sense. Again, this is measuring metrics for inbound. This is where KPIs come into play. I'm not a trained qualified marketer. I'm just giving you guys the overview because I kind of know how the marketers operate. If you want to get a full in-depth overview of marketing, go listen to a professional marketer's blog. I am a sales guy, but these metrics stand. So again, we can chase the scene all the way up from the amount of leads to the amount of MQL, from the amount of UTM to MQL, from the amount of UTM to SQLs. You'll see on, let's move it over here. You'll see on this side here, I mean, the SQL to MQL is a big deal. This is one that we measure, and actually SQL to leads is one that we measure. We also measure deals against leads and deals against SQL. So there are a couple of what we consider our magic numbers. You can go deals against a particular, sorry, you can't see that, against a particular UTM as well. So you can actually assess how many deals are you getting from Facebook? Like literally, how many deals are you getting from Facebook with video posts versus how many deals are you getting from Facebook with blog posts? You can do, if you've tracked all of this during your marketing, during your inbound campaigns, you can get these metrics. These metrics you can set up on Google Tag Manager. Again, I don't actually know how to do this. I just know how to read the information of Google Tag Manager and Google Analytics. But that's basically how you want to set it up. So if you've started with this correctly, and then of course we know that there's leads coming in, and we've set parameters for what's considered MQL and what's considered SQL. And of course we know what a deal is versus a lost deal, if it's gone through or not. SQL is also qualified or disqualified. You hear me speaking, if the lead is qualified or disqualified, that basically means they're going from MQL to SQL, or they're going from MQL to lost, or DQ, disqualified. But I'm not going to confuse. You know what? I really should have that in here, DQ. Okay? Because it is an important metric as well now that I actually give it some thought. So we can also say to ourselves, you know what, our Facebook campaigns coming from videos, 80% are DQ'd. Okay, so we could say to ourselves, we're getting 60% MQL from this campaign, but if 80% of them are DQ'd or 90% are DQ'd, then I don't care how many MQLs are coming in, it's a piece of crap. So measuring that as well. Typically, as a salesperson, when I'm doing my campaigns with my team, I usually ignore the MQL. I go straight to the SQL to leads because I don't care less what's going on with MQL, unless I find that my leads is dropping below SQL to the tune of about 30%. If it's going below that, then I want to look at the MQL to see what's going on. The reason I don't focus on that, again, is because I'm a salesperson, not a marketing person, and I let the marketing team do what they do, and I do what I know how to do, which is deal with the leads. I want to DQ as many as possible, as fast as possible, and I want to focus all my time and effort on the SQL. And this is why in the big high-tech companies, they literally teach you, assess it, get rid of them as fast as you can, and put your effort into the ones that you can actually sell to. I have two other things. I know this one's going a bit longer, but hey, you want the info? I'll give you the info. LTV CAC. Okay, lifetime value. So the lifetime value of a particular customer is effectively the purchase, how much they're going to purchase your product for, the percentage of that profit. In SaaS, you could say it's 100%. It's not really, but the profit generally goes off at the P&L, profit and loss account level. But if you've got, a 2020 deal with someone, whatever, 2080 deal, you've got your profit percentage and then time. So again, if this is SaaS, let's pretend that the average is 12 months. Now, the average in SaaS, of course, is about 36 months, but it depends which SaaS and what you're doing. If it's a one-off purchase, time is going to be a one-time purchase. So you run that math together, and let's just say here, for example, we have a $50 SaaS product. Can we see? We can't. We have a $50 SaaS product. Let me stabilize this. At 80% profit, because we have certain expenses we know, 12 months average, we reckon, and that is 300. So it's a 300 LTV. And then on the other side of things, CAC, that is cost per acquisition, and that is the total spend of your advertising campaign minus the amount of total customers, not leads, prospects, SQL, MQL, but deals, closed deals. So customers that you've actually gotten. And again, in this example, we've spent $1,000 and we've got 100 customers. You know what? That's not even realistic. We've got 10 customers, and that is a 100 cost per acquisition. So in this example, and again, you can trace it all the way up. We have one UTM that's gotten us a certain amount of, it's gotten us, we've spent $1,000. There we are, $1,000, which has ultimately gotten us 10 customers. I don't know, maybe it's gotten us, let's just say it got us 500 leads. And it got 50 MQL. That's not realistic. It got 200 MQLs, and it got 50 SQLs, and that's 10 customers with a lifetime value of 300 at a cost of 100 each. Boom. Okay. Inbound marketing, measuring the metrics, that's pretty much what we're getting at. And if we have all of these numbers here, you can sort of see the kind of mathematics that we can actually do. We can measure every single one of these campaigns, the cost per acquisition of these campaigns at each level. We can do the cost per lead, the cost per MQL, SQL, and most importantly, the cost per acquisition, and see what's actually working and what's not. Even if we're getting more customers off our Facebook than our YouTube, if the cost per acquisition is more than the lifetime value of the customer, then it's kind of it doesn't make sense. Companies do this, they get investment and they play this game. I understand that, but again, I'm a sales guy, so I'm purely speaking the business perspective that you should always make more money than it costs you to get customers, or you're typically going to go out of business. Try saying that to a lot of the startup companies out there. They may not understand it. Okay, I'm done. There we are. My name is Keith. This is Startup Sales Mastery, measuring the metrics week. KPIs, key performance indicators. This session was KPIs for inbound. Tomorrow I'm going to go through KPIs for outbound, which is actually a lot easier than what I just had to do here. Good luck. Go make some money. And again, if you need any help growing or scaling your company, that's kind of our thing. It's what we do. Click on the link above. I'm giving everyone a free video that just shows you exactly how I do it, how I come up to things. Look, if you're struggling and you just want to scale like crazy, reach out to me, get in touch. I'll put some of the best guys in the industry on your campaign and we'll go make a fortune. Good luck. Take it easy. And I'll see you all tomorrow. Bye-bye.